Yo, it's Captain holding his phone. That's the new intro. Uh, and I'm coming at you with another video here, another stream thoughts, and I don't know. This one we didn't get very far in stream because I played slowly. What did we play? Honkai Star Rail. This is the next installment of the Pinacone 2.1. My thoughts, my like how we're doing it. I think I called it Captain's Log. And we made it through. I actually looked it up. I actually looked it up because I needed to know for stream planning. We made it through like the first hour of play, which concerns me because I was hoping we would have made it farther. But and it's a lot of setup. It's a lot of setup. I liked it. It actually got into the stuff I was very interested in right away. But then it left it. It just teased it. They teased me and they left. So what did we do? We started 2.1 properly. We had our little conversation with the train gang, and and then they just started doing flashbacks and side flashes and left and right, and then like just historical flashes. Like they decided to tell the story from multiple perspectives. And I think that is, well, I think it's a really good decision. I think it's probably the best way they could handle this because they've got a lot of players in Pinacone. They've got a lot of story they're trying to tell, and it's very complicated. And ultimately, they're trying to tell like an action comedy. I think is maybe the genre of this. So they've got to like make this clear what's going on. I don't know, this one seems less comedy, to be honest. um, but so what they've done is they've broken it up, and you don't really know that until the end of the hour, so maybe I'll talk about that more when we get there. But there's actually like a lot going on with Adventurine, and that's when you find all this out. But I think it was really smart. I think it was like, yes, this is good. This is the way to do it. We saw it in or maybe I'll just talk about it now. We saw it in Final Fantasy 14. I don't know. I've only watched playthroughs of it, but when did they start doing it? Did they do it in Shadowbringers, or did they start it with Endwalker? Anyways, what they started doing was showing you the story from multiple perspectives. Like you actually take control of another character in the story and play parts of it. And like this is a nice narrative thing. I don't know how many of you have like read fiction books. I don't mean that insult. I don't mean that insultingly. I just mean there's so many more forms of entertainment now. It's you don't really need to read. I recommend it, but you could totally get by without it. Like there was when I'm old enough that when I was growing up, like you wanted fantasy stuff, you read books. That was it. That's what you got. But one of the nice things in that is you get like a multiple perspective. Like one chapter will be from one character's perspective, the next chapter will be from another character's perspective, and then you can go through several chapters and see how different story threads are coming together, and then they tie together and they intersect, and it becomes very fun because you feel like there's three main characters, and then all of a sudden they're in a scene together. You're like, ooh, it's very exciting. It's like a crossover event. Anyway, so I was really excited to see that. That was, I just thought that was really cool. So we saw it in Final Fantasy 14. They started doing that too, and now we saw it here in Pinacone, and I'm like, yes, I like this. I think this is gonna go well. All right, hold on. I'm trying to make sure this camera. I'm holding it. My arms have gotten tired early today, so if the camera's shaky, I do apologize. I'll work something out someday. But what do we do today? What's like the story summary? Oh, is it too boring? Well, uh, we go meet up with the train gang. We have like a little flashback, and immediately we flash back to Acheron. I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted answers on, right? I wanted that's right. Like I said, I just said that's what I want to ask answers on. We see Acheron, and she's like doing the thing with. Oh, actually, it starts with her and Sam, and you're like, ooh, we get to see what happened to that because that's like technically that just happened, right? Like we got pulled out of that fight. We see what's going on with that, but then it does another flashback. It's a flashback in a flashback. It's flashbackception, and it does what hers going on with Ifrit and stuff. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera again. And it it shows it basically it confirms that Acheron did indeed murder the Annihilation Gang. Although there is a hint that maybe they're not super dead. I don't know if anyone's dead. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what to believe. But it shows us kind of like Ifrit's last stand. And I think it's really telling about Acheron's character that she points out later that it was not a tragic end. It was how he wanted to go out, and it was, his glorious last moment that was something to be celebrated. And I think it's relevant how Acheron approaches ends of things. Because I think we're like moving towards she's the nihility emanator. The end of things is very important to nihility because that's what it does. It ends things. And that's important to Acheron. We don't know if she's on nihility's side or she just kind of got stuck with this. But pretty much like when that blade unsheathes, things end. Um, I also think, I'm just kind of, I guess I'm bouncing around. I told you summaries are boring. Um, I also think, I talked about this yesterday when we saw Firefly get ended, Acheron apologized like she could have done something, but she didn't. I think what what the implication is from what I saw today was that the what she could have done was unsheathed the blade, and it would have ended things. But for whatever reason, she felt like she couldn't. And we don't know why. Like maybe she couldn't end everything. Maybe she has like some sort of deal where she has to be very specific about when she ends things. Maybe it's just out of her control and she would have killed everybody. I don't know. But that's kind of what I got, which is neat. That was a question that was in my mind. Oh my god, my arms are super tired. The where we're in this summary. Anyways, so we get confirmation she did steal the invitation from the Annihilation Gang, and she did get in that way. But really, that was just kind of like a quick thing. Really, it was about her talking with Sam, and I thought that was really interesting because we got some answers there with the Annihilation Gang, but then we get more questions because Sam's brought back, and there was like a lot of fan theories and speculation going around like, ooh, is Sam like somebody we know? Is Sam somebody important? Is Sam our girlfriend? And who's in the metal suit, right? Because it's just a metal suit. But then they presented Sam in the last little bit as just like this murder bot. He has no emotions. Like everybody's scared of him. And I was pretty content with that. I was like, all right, there's nobody special in the suit. He's just a murder bot. We're moving on. And this scene, I think, was to show you that no, there is still some mystery. There is still some things going on. Because not only do they give Sam some screen time to be like, I'm not just a murder bot, although it's still a lot of that. You get the feeling that, like, Sam just has to be murdering things and he doesn't care. Like he says, he never dreamed of the people he murdered because he can't even dream. Which raises the question how he's even in the dream of Pinacone, because you get in there by falling asleep in the dream juice. So I don't know if that's a plot hole or what. But right, he's still hardcore, he's still edgy, but Acheron's like, I know everything because I'm magic, and I know who you are in the suit. And Sam freaks out. So yes, there's still mystery. They've, they're answering some questions. They're raising new questions. Who's Sam? Who's in the suit? All right, now I'm intrigued by it. I still am not sure. It was kind of weird to give Sam, like, go from super edgy to super edgy, but there's more going on. I was like, all right, is he super edgy and metal, or is he like a tragic softie just trapped in the suit? I don't know. Hopefully, we get some more development there. Also, the whole Acheron knowing everything keeps popping up. Happens several times during this hour, and I'm like, how does she know everything? They've done a pretty good job of explaining how people know things. Like, Adventurine knows a shit ton of stuff, but he's Adventurine, and he's with the IPC, and he's really good at like working people and bribing people, and he's got tons of money. So you just assume he has lots of informants. We have Black Swan. She knows everything, but Black Swan has like magical memory powers. She can read the memories on objects, so she can kind of just see impressions of what happened to things. So you're like, all right, that's how she knows everything. How does Acheron know everything? We don't. As far as we know, she's not special, but then we do know she's special because trailers and stuff. And it seems like she's special with Nihility, but that erases things. That doesn't give you I know everything powers. So I don't know how murder and everything also lets her know everything. But somehow she knows. She gave an explanation. She said, I'm forgetful, so I use my emotions to capture stuff. I don't know what the fuck that means. There was a lot in this hour that I didn't know what the fuck it means. I'll be honest. But I guess that's the point. It's very much of a setup for the story so far. All right, this summary's taken too long. All right, so we got a little tease on Acheron. Then we go back, but we didn't finish. That was it. That was it. That was the whole tease. Then we go back to the train gang, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. We learn that the family has contracted us to help them. Let me adjust my hands. They are very tired. We learned that the family has contracted us to help them. And everybody, and that's one of the kind of themes we've seen, everybody wants us on their side because we're kind of a wild card. Adventurine's trying to get us on his side. The Memo Keeper's trying to get us on her side. Even Acheron, a little bit on, is trying to get us on her side. And then the family's trying to get us on their side. So it's kind of neat that we're the wild card in this scenario of all these factions. Anyways, we have the train gang meeting. We're trying to figure out what to do. We talk about Adventurine, and we talk about the family must have a dark secret. I'm like, yes, family dark secret, but they didn't really get into it very much. Then we leave, and Welt's like, I'm gonna stay behind to do something, and then he says you can come out now, and Acheron appears, and you're like, what the fuck? What is going on? So how is she there? How did he know she was there? And then she's like, I know all your secrets too. And he's like, and you're like, how does she know everything? And then he threatens her. It was really cool. It was a badass moment. But she makes it out like, look, she's after the Watchmaker's legacy, like everybody is. But she also doesn't like the darkness that's here and wants to fix it. Kind of like how Black Swan just doesn't want the dream to end. And so you're like, okay, she doesn't seem bad. She seems to have noble goals. And I'm of the opinion that she's not the bad guy. But then that you get that, and then you get another side flash to what Black Swan's doing, and Black Swan's like reading the invitation that Acheron had, and reading its memories, and trying to find out the secrets, right? And she sees the memories of the Annihilation Gang before they get annihilated, and I'm pretty sure it's just plain lines from that trailer that they showed of the Annihilation Gang, which I went back and watched to check to make sure I knew some names, because Constance comes up, which indeed was one of the Annihilation Gangs. But here's the thing, so like she's reading these memories, but then they're like start getting redacted and they just get like erased. And here again, you have the end of things, right? Maybe this is another reference to nihility. Uh, and it's like, okay, yeah, they're doing that. But then Black Swan hears somebody starts talking to her, and she's like, wait, this isn't a memory. This isn't how they work. And somebody's like, oh, we found you, Memo Keeper. We had this is the plan. And it's revealed that it's Constance. And I'm like, wait, isn't that one of the Annihilation Gangs? I went back and watched the trailer. That is one of the Annihilation Gangs, and that was the girl who was specifically tasked with dealing with the Memo Keepers. Because if you didn't watch the trailer, Dookie Frit had like 4 children. I would air quote if I wasn't holding my phone. And the children, like the whole goal was just destroy everything and cause chaos. And he gave each child a task of specific, like each like a specific faction they would take on. And Constance was the one that was supposed to take on the Memory faction. So here's this trap for Black Swan, and it's like, well, does that mean she's not dead, or is this just a trap that's still effective? I don't know if the Annihilation Gang is dead. I'm fairly certain, like 90% certain, they confirm Ifrit is dead. Acheron killed him. Like 100, like 99%. I don't know, they could pull something. But the Annihilation Gang, that wasn't confirmed. They've just disappeared along with it. So did she kill them all? Did she just kill Ifrit and the rest left? I don't know. But then they don't finish that either. Like I said, it's all just setting it up. And then they go to like Adventurine is baby Moses. And you see baby Adventurine, and it's like you're a blessed child, and they had, I don't know what the name of their god was, but they had a god in this horrible planet where he was born, and it's like it's blessed because rain was came on the day you were born and rains came again today, and you're like, the fuck? And and then it goes to Adventurine and Dr. Ratio, and they have a conversation about how stuff's hard, and Adventurine, they confirm that they know another person is dead, which would be Firefly. And so now we know Adventurine knows that Firefly is dead, and he already knew about Robin. And apparently he saw Robin die, and they cleared him of the one being the one responsible, but he's worried they're still watching him. And he's like, what am I going to do? I want to buy out this whole place. I need to figure this out. And Dr. Ratio's like, well, I'm supposed to help you, but don't worry. We got this. And apparently they had like a plan to go see Sunday, like the big head honcho, and are dealing with it. I'm sorry, I feel like this is really shaky. I don't think I'm sitting wrong. My arms are very, very tired. But that's what we got. Then you switch to play as Adventurine, and I was like, yo, you get to play as other characters. This is perfect for this. And they explain they have a whole system for playing as other characters and how to make it work in the Fates Atlas and stuff. And that's kind of where we left off. So it was just like a bunch of setup. It was a bunch of setup, but I was really happy because like immediately they were like, let's tell you more about Acheron. I'm like, yes. And then not too long after they're like, let's hint at the dark secrets of the family. And I'm like, yes, that's what I care about. But really it's just hints, it's just setup. It's just like long conversations. But I'm excited. I'm excited to move forward. I'm excited to get somewhere. I'm a little worried that I'm moving too slowly on on the stream because I'm playing really slowly. But I don't know. That's where we are. I'm very surprised how many side flashes they had. But I think I think how is she going to tell a story this complicated? I think that'll let them go into places that are tricky and specific and keep the factions, like all these moving pieces, working and make it still a compelling story. So I actually think it's a good sign. Looking forward to playing more, seeing where we're going, because it really was just an intro. I honestly started this video thinking I wasn't going to have anything to talk about because there was just so much setup and not anywhere. But then I guess I got excited about talking about it all. So we'll see where it goes from here. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastically. Should have said that at the start of the video. Well, there you go. Happy Easter. Hope you're doing lovely because it is a lovely day. All right. That's it. Cat mount. Good night. Goodbye. I'll see you around.